Hi, I'm Don Langley, producer director of Tornado Bowling Green, a docudrama short film. I hope you find it informative and accurate. Thanks for watching.
I drove to school and first I saw a semi turned over on its side across from the Corvette Museum. And I also saw the Shell station across the road that was destroyed. And that was the first damage that I was able to see. I passed by the trailer parks where most of our students live, and I was so relieved to see that they were okay. There was no damage there because that really could have been devastating for all of our students. We got to school, and a few parents showed up to pick up the Christmas gifts, and Family Resource and I were able to talk to them about damage that they had, and they were spared, but they were without power and heat, and so we were able to help them out with that a bit. We were still waiting to hear news about what had happened, and slowly news came in, and even though we did not lose any students or have damage on our end, at the other end of town, we heard of students at other schools who lost their lives, and it was just really devastating. It was really a tough time for a lot of people.
Still kind of trying to find the right words for you want to talk about that tornado, honestly. It's still kind of a shock just seeing everything gone. That night, I was woken up by a phone call from my mom, probably about 1:30. She's freaking out. She tells me, you need to get downstairs. You need to get into your hallway immediately. So I grab a pillow, run downstairs, realize pretty quickly that I have about 7% battery. My phone is the only source of light. I don't know how long it's going to last. I'm sending text messages to friends, getting them in, trying to figure out what's going on. I'm still on the phone with my mom when all of a sudden she goes quiet and she goes, "Something is here." And I'm like, "What do you mean something's here? What's there?" And she goes, "I can feel the house shaking." And at the time, I didn't realize how bad it was. So I kind of brushed her off and told her, she was imagining things, that she just needed to calm down. And around this time, the sirens, which had been going off for hours, they were so loud, you couldn't hear anything else. They had just stopped, and Maria, my next door neighbor, texted me, "Can you please come over?" So I went over to her place and we just sat up for hours, checking Facebook and Twitter and trying to see pictures or updates or anything. And at some point, I finally fell asleep until 6. When I got up for work, I logged into Facebook, and it was just photos of the bypass and homes and businesses that were there the day before, just completely flattened.
My house as well. And I immediately grabbed my cat, grabbed a towel, and ran into my bathroom in about 3 minutes from when I got the alert, and hunkered down and tried to keep in contact with my family on the other side of Bowling Green until I didn't hear anything else from them, and all the electricity shut off. Internet, electricity, and phone signal went down. So I waited it out. I could hear the winds howling everywhere. I could even feel the wind rushing underneath my bathroom door, which was terrifying. Then I realized that my neighbor, Sydney, was at home, and she was alone too and away from her family. And so we were able to get a couple texts to go through, and I let her know that she should come over to my house if the warning finally lifted. So about probably 2:40 in the morning, I ran to my front door, grabbed her from beside the house, and brought her inside. And we just lit every candle we could find and every battery-powered light that I had sitting around, and just kind of made a cozy spot in the bedroom to try and wait out the rest of the storm, when we both ended up falling asleep about 4 a.m. and then parted ways about 6 a.m.
Around 2:30, I was awakened by the sounds of the wind and silence. Just jumped up. I checked on my girls. They were good. They were sound asleep. They were toward the back of the house. So I was like, okay, they'll be fine. Got my dolls. We and them sat in the bathroom for a little while. Then afterwards, we go back to bed. The next day, when I looked outside, there were trees down, the fence was down, trampoline was gone. So I was like, man, we had our bed stone. And me and the girls rolled around town to find coffee and food, and we saw the devastation, and we realized that it was a big tornado. Tell them how you felt.
I was scared and nervous and we stopped. It like cartoons.
We just kind of huddled up in the bathtub and sang a little song because she was pretty.
You could hear stuff cracking, and like Kim said, with the pop, and you could hear some, stuff wasn't right outside.
Kind of blown away, like this is happening to us, and this is happening to our home. Like, I couldn't appreciate the kindness that was going on, but like, looking back, it's wild just how nice people were. It took about 2 months just to get our house to a point where we could actually live in it again, and much hadn't been fixed at that point. Mostly just the windows so the heat would stay in. Finally got the roof fixed, and about by the 3rd balcony siding. And by the 5th month, we were finally able to take a look at someone fixing our fence.